We're continuing a topic of the Eightfold Path. And we really have been mining it. Wouldn't you say, Nellie? Like we've been really talking about, the structure of it, the ennobling quest for an eightfold path. And we haven't gone into each of the spokes on the wheel, which is a representation for the path. And we're not going to do that yet today either.
Rather, we're going another direction, which is we're provisionally, not even really provisionally later than that, playing around with adding another spoke to the wheel. And it's the cliche that's used is you can cut the pie differently. In traditional Buddhist teachings, the path is about 8 components, which is eightfold path. But we could have a different number or name them somewhat differently. So we're playing around with that. Go ahead, Linda.
Right. I don't think it would be like a centipede, but I think you could get, thousands of other spokes on that wheel. But we've heard other people talk about adding their ideas, and today we're going to add an ennobling quest for right power onto the Eightfold Path.
And as many of you know, the issue of power is dominant. And there's very ways that power is really problematic. And so really to look at the appropriate or the skillful or the, caring use of power, way of using power where you really care about other people. I think that's, something that really matters.
Right. So we're going to bring in a few quotes and do some reading of them and again, discussion between Nellie and I, conversation. And one of the people that we often go to about power is Julie Diamond, who does blogs and has a whole organization about the right use of power in many respects. She doesn't call it that. And there is another book on the right use of power, and I forget those authors, but it is in our culture and in the kind of present moment where people are talking about this, especially when it's so evident what's the wrong use of power.
Yeah, both within Buddhist sanghas and also within the larger political world.
Yeah.
So I'll start reading and then I'll pause and you can read, Linda. So this is a quote from a blog that Julie put out, whatever, a week or so ago. Someone leaves, be it an organization, a company, what have you, a sangha, frustrated with how things have been going. There's perhaps been micromanaging, hostile, toxic, abusive, things feel bad. The leaders and they go off, these people go off, someone, and attempt to make a better, kinder, more empowering organization or sangha.
And it's a noble attempt. Unfortunately, though, these hero and Shiro's journeys often turn dystopic, as the founders eventually find themselves accused of some questionable behavior themselves or some wrongdoing, some way that they exploited their power.
So according to Julie, the problem is being not like others is rebelling, but it is not leading. It is setting a negative aspiration, which often backfires. It's easier, of course, to define yourself in opposition to something else.
Instead, it's more empowering and effective to set down positive aspirations. She doesn't use the word intentions, but we would say other components of the Eightfold Path. It's more of an empowering and effective to set down positive aspirations, intentions, actions, etc.
So what specific, behaviors and practices will help you create the culture you envision in your organization or in our situation in your sangha?
And she goes into a little bit of a tangent here. She says, when the bar is set so low, it begs the question, why should we strive to do better when people get away with stuff and are even rewarded for their bad behavior? Why is it important that we keep striving ourselves to set positive aspirations and intentions?
It is far more psychologically empowering to chart your course rather than be swept away by the actions of others, whether by following them or reacting against them.
Which is really what we take from the Buddhist teachings. It's another way of talking about finding your own path, charting your own path, knowing that you'll have to make these teachings, you'll have to transform them into your own path.
And, you know, and as a reflective meditation community, and Linda and I as two of the leaders of that, we've been really navigating this. You know, when we broke off from our previous Sangha, you know, it would have been easy. And maybe we did it, and surely we did it somewhat, to define ourselves in opposition to what we left. It's kind of like the natural course of things, rather. It goes with the current, but maybe it's going against the current, to use Buddhist terminology, to find your own path. And that's certainly what we aspire towards and work
Right.
towards.
And it might be this kind of continuum. You know, I find myself wanting to make a stand against abuse, you know, really kind of making it clear that I don't want to perpetuate that. And that is, in a sense, you know, defining myself in opposition, so that there might even be times when that goes along with the aspirations we're setting. And it's not something that we're going to transcend and not feel.
Right. There is a middle path here, what you're
Yeah, a
saying.
middle path. Yes, that one.
There's the Dharma coming out. Not either
Yeah,
or. There's some of both. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So, you know, that's sort of in our, this is embedded in the whole way that we also practice. We are encouraging you to find your own way in meditation, not just follow the leader's way or the, you know, instructions. And, you know, we say right in our basic instructions for reflective meditation, quote, "This might not feel like meditation, though consider it another kind of meditation with different benefits."
Right, right, right. And it's interesting to have exposure and to be in other Buddhist sanghas, and read a lot of scholarly approaches to Buddhism, and really take on some of those understandings, and also see that our path, this kind of reflective meditation, has kind of forged its own way. Like Nellie was just saying, and people could even say, is that Buddhism? How is that Buddhism? You know, and we are making the links. We're not leaving Buddhism. But we are in some ways kind of expanding it, where at times it could look like something different. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. In fact, we said some people could ask, is this Buddhism? I only wanted to change it as some people have asked,
Yeah.
really
Right.
Buddhism, because it looks different. Because it
Yeah.
looks different.
Yeah.
At first sight, it looks quite or somewhat different, but I've actually found the flip side of the coin, Linda, that people who have a longer practice in Buddhism can really see that it's what we're
Right.
doing. Um,
Right.
and
Right.
they know that we're sticking close to the Dharma. So it can go many ways.
And that really ties in to the quote you found this morning, Nellie, from Ni Tran, who is are going to be our guest author on the International Women's Day retreat in March, which we hope you'll join us for, to meet her and read some of her words. But we're going to read a quote of hers this morning that I think points directly to that. The longer term practitioners actually come back and say, oh, I see Buddhism all over what you're doing. So do you want to start with the quote, Nellie?
Sure. Yet this historical tendency contrasts sharply with this original vision as recorded in early Buddhist texts. He envisioned the Buddha, that is, envisioned a community where monks, nuns, and lay people were not passive recipients, but active, knowledgeable, and consistent practitioners. He saw everyone as potential teachers, clarifiers, analyzers, and torchbearers of his teaching.
The Buddha paved the path for ordinary people like you and me, who seek wisdom and peace and yearn to help others do the same. A true follower, true small t, true follower, isn't a passive listener, but actively upholds faith, ethical conduct, and generosity while guiding others in these virtues. Such a person is continually willing to learn, reflect, and integrate the teachings into everyday life.
And that is certainly what we aspire to, and what we actually work quite hard to create in our sanghas and in all that we do.
Nellie, I feel actually quite emotional at the moment just because this ennobling community that we've created here, I'm really proud of it. We're really proud of it. That this has been something that's different than other groups that we've been in. And okay, that's anything you want to tag on to that, Nellie. I just feel so I just feel so grateful for what we've created together here.
No, all I want to tag on to, well, I guess I do want to tag something on, which is, of course, you and I did not do this on our own. We did this all together,
Yeah.
each of us in their own way, and yeah, and to their own extent, yeah.
Yeah. So thank you.
I'm not sure, am I the bell ringer? I don't know.
No, I think I am. I'll do it
Okay,
today.
all
Yeah.
right.
Okay.